Concepts, Values and Wise Advice from the Billy Meier Contacts compiled by David Chance, revised October 18, 2023.
Opinions. See also belief. See also neutrality.
Contact Report 41.
When two life forms live together in an alliance, differences of opinion inevitably arise. However, these do not have to osarten into quarrels, as is so often the case with the Earth human beings. So without exception, there are also differences of opinion in our marriages, and it would be very abnormal if it were not so. Also with us, like everywhere else, all life forms are varied in their evolution, so never two exactly alike poles are found together. If it were different, it would mean a flattening and abolition of evolution. Thus, two differently directed poles must always come together if evolution is to come about. This means, however, that these two different poles constantly rub against each other, so that two different opinions collide, and therefore differences of opinion must arise for the purpose of evolution. This is an irrevocable law of the evolution to which we and all other life forms in all universes are assigned.
Contact Report 835.
Having an opinion is always wrong because such an opinion never corresponds to reality and consequently also not to the truth.
Exactly. Forming an opinion, and therefore then having an opinion, is always based on the fact that the human being, according to his or her views and ideas, etc., mentally and emotionally forms something which they take as a given, but which consequently does not correspond to reality and its truth. This is because views, ideas, and assumptions, etc., are always individual and therefore far removed from reality and its truth. For human beings, this means that they should only accept and represent as given, correct, and true what they can actually see, hear, realize, experience, and thus grasp as truth. Also, the human being should only ever say what are effective facts and actualities, so they should only ever say something that corresponds to truth and reality, and that without adding a comment or anything else, so that only pure facts are named that are also actually given. This, however, requires that also in learning only the effective learning material as such is studied, but not any personal assumptions and presumptions, etc., are mixed in.
There is probably nothing more to be said about this, because it is absolutely clear that no opinion is to be formed and therefore also not to be represented. Effectively, only pure reality and the resulting truth is ever to be named and represented.
Opinions are, in truth, only views, ideas, and suppositions, as sometimes they are also only dreams or false doctrines, which are unconscionably spread, leading to belief, as is the case with religions.
Contact Report 840.
An opinion is always wrong, because such an opinion only corresponds to a wrong view, which will eternally remain only such a view, and does not correspond to what reality and its truth is. The knuckleheads unfortunately do not understand that an opinion only corresponds to an unprovable assumption that can never be proven as reality.
Contact Report 845.
Opinions are invariably wrong anyway, because they are based only on personal views, assumptions, presumptions, fantasies, etc., which are only formed by speculations and assertions, conjectures, suspicions, fictions, deceptions, insinuations, wishes or desires, etc. However, they are never based on effective and therefore incontrovertible facts and real truths. Consequently, they cannot withstand all truth to the last, and can even always be changed by lies, deceit, and fraud according to whim and fancy. Consequently, contrary to this, only pure truth and effective fact and reality is factually correct. For this always and in every case guarantees pure honesty, incorruptibility, and an absolute integrity, as well as being absolutely neutral.
Contact Report 851.
For my part, I am truly neutral, and consequently have no opinion whatsoever, because such an opinion always implies that a biased opinion is connected with it, in every respect. But since I really do think absolutely neutrally, I have no partisan direction to take in any respect, and consequently also no judgment to make and no saying as to what is correct with regard to a partisanship, and therefore what is of the wrong or right of one side or the other. Correctly, I cannot and must not behave and align myself in this wise, but only neutrally ascertain what is actually present, and reveal myself in such a manner that I simply name what is effectively given, is currently happening, or will have this and that effect for the future. And if it is a question of assessing any action, thing or occurrence, etc., then this must be independent of an opinion, but only insist on thinking in absolute logic, and realizing that of the whole the logical result can inevitably only be that which has been logically fathomed. Consequently, this alone proves that having an opinion is based on thinking in an effectively biased manner instead of neutrally. That is to say, on assessing one side as good and the other side as bad. This, however, absolutely contradicts neutrality, because it does not simply state the existing facts, but favors one party and disadvantages the other. So considered correctly, having an opinion means that the whole thing corresponds to complete partisanship, because an opinion is never neutral, but always biased towards one side or the other, and thus not in accordance with neutrality. Sooner or later, and in any case, having an opinion always leads to quarrels, which not infrequently leads to war between countries and among human beings themselves, often to enmity, hatred, revenge and retaliation, as ultimately to murder and manslaughter, whereby not infrequently everything is controlled in the background by a religiously dependent belief, which stimulates and evokes ambitions of power theories, possession, as well as of torture, torment, and massacre in human beings. And, arising from belief, religious or secular, one opinion is inevitably acute, and that is mainly that evil should be repaid with evil, and which is that like should be punished with like, as it happens, for example, in the case of murder with the death penalty, by which the killing is to be atoned for. In so doing, however, every opinion is wrong throughout the lives of human beings, for to have and hold such an opinion is always fundamentally wrong as well as biased, and leads at least to misunderstanding, conflict, discord, then to injustice and inhumanity, to discord, war, and other murder and manslaughter as a result of evil strife, of hatred, revenge, retaliation, or greed, etc.
Contact Report 852.
The human being himself, who has classified himself to a faith, has formed an opinion. However, such an opinion, like faith, is in any case false and biased, because faith and opinion are fundamentally the same thing, so that a faith is an opinion and an opinion is a faith. Opinion and belief can be set right and discussed, so their falsity and partiality, for they completely exclude any neutrality or other neutral form. However, it is only of correctness to take this into account, and to put it into practice in this way, if a human being is not directly or indirectly attacked with regard to his opinion and belief, but is always and in every case correctly approached and spoken to. This means that in every case, even with a human being who holds a secular opinion or has a religious belief, which is actually the same thing, correctly speaking, normal conversation can and should take place without his or her belief or opinion being brought into play. Consequently, even a person without an opinion, an atheist or a non-believer in any other way, can speak normally and without insinuation to a human being about his or her faith or opinion, and meet him or her respectfully and neutrally, if the human being has an opinion or is devoted to a religious faith. Only then can and may his opinion or belief be discussed, if he so desires, although the speech and answer should always and in every case be conducted in such a way that it is neutral and violates neither the opinion nor the belief. Otherwise, however, if a human being does not wish to be addressed directly concerning his opinion or belief, whereby an unwanted personal address in this regard is always wrong, it should be correct and permissible in a general form that concerning religious or secular opinions, as well as a belief, The falsity or correctness may be discussed, and the truth may be said and stated. This is something I have already learnt with Svath, and which was very useful when I visited human beings together with him who were religious creeds or simply held opinions. This behavior also helped me when I traveled alone through many countries and went in and out of believing families, churches, mosques, and temples, etc., and never caused offense. Belief in God and gods, etc., as well as in ideals, never conveys the truth, because to really gather true knowledge and to see and hear reality, and thus to perceive reality and realities in every form, remains denied to every person of faith. Opinions and beliefs, as well as ideals, etc., create wrongdoing, murder and manslaughter, suffering, sorrow and distress, hatred, unconscionability, revenge and retribution, killing of every kind, destruction, annihilation, extinction, and endless evil.
Contact Report 855.
An opinion is always considered to be correct, even though it is only an assumption. The fact that misunderstandings, lies, and deceptions, etc., arise from this is something that Earth humans do not even think about to the extent of an iota. This is to say nothing of the fact, as I have very often found in my previous learning concerning the behavior of Earth humans, that their bulk generally do not take the trouble of thought to question an opinion as to its truthfulness.